anymore. He's all over the
Right.
field. Just let that dude go. Just be like, whatever coverage it is on the playbook, just you flip a coin and do what the hell you want to. We've been kind of as Seattle Seahawks fans, man. It's just that rock in a hard place. It's the Legion of Boom was just gone, and it's came and gone, and well, we have nothing to do but reflect on the good times that we've had. And it kind of seems like with these, especially with Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, we're starting to get a little bit of that mentality, a little bit back. I wouldn't compare it to the Legion of Boom yet because we don't have all the pieces around. Totally heard that Bobby Wagner had to leave. He was the heart and soul of that defense. And I hate the way, that Seattle had to handle that situation by telling them that he found out on social media that he was not part of the team anymore, which is a big red flag. But then you're getting Sidney Jones back. I know he was with Philadelphia, then the Jaguars, and now he's back with Seattle. So he's traveled around several different areas too. So as a Washington guy through and through, he played for the Huskies, and like you said, Washington is DBU for those out there. And there was a guy, Steezy, I had to send you the video. There was a guy that said he believes that no good cornerbacks came out of Washington. And I said, what about Marcus Peters? What about Kevin King? What about Sidney Jones? What about Byron Murphy? And the list just goes on. Yeah, Buda Baker, the list just goes on and on and on and on. But yeah, there are some people out there like that, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. The outlook for the Seahawks defense this year, man. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And, where do you rank these guys coming into this year if you had to give them kind of like a preseason rank?
I think right now, an optimistic ceiling would probably be like somewhere in the middle of the pack. You kind of reflect back to what Seattle's defense did last year. What is it? 24th, tied for 24th in the NFL in sacks, 25th in takeaways as far as opponents rushing yards per game, 17th. Yep. You know what I mean? And I think heading into next year, we can improve. I mean, we can expect slight improvements across the board. I think as far as the pass rush goes, Darrell Taylor, oh my gosh. We're going to touch on players to look out for on both sides of the ball, but a guy like a Darrell Taylor, I think he's a superstar kind of just waiting to emerge. You know what I mean? I think he's an absolute beast. He's an absolute specimen. I think he's going to be the backbone, of our defense, especially as it pertains to the pass rush. He's super versatile. Could also drop back in coverage. He's no slouch in the run game as well. But I think overall, we can expect reasonably this team to kind of finish in the middle of the pack. Last year, look, Jamal Adams played in 12 games, had 0 sacks. I don't expect that to continue again. Clint Hurtt's going to come in here, and he wants to implement and install an attacking defense. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to blitz a lot more. He wants to play a lot more man coverage. Sidney Jones, for example, excelled, playing a lot more man over at UW. You know what I mean? Tariq Woolen, like we talked about, he's probably not going to get a whole lot of playing time, but, if he does see time on the field, it's going to show that he's ahead of schedule. And I think with what he brings to the table, his athletic abilities oozing and tantalizing upside.
Check out his video, man. It was a great breakdown.
Right. You got to. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, bro.
I'll post it in the chat right now if you guys haven't checked it out. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
I appreciate that. And I think, look, I don't care what anybody says. I think Seattle has the best safety duo in all the National Football League. Quandre Diggs, like you talked about, is, I think, one of the better safeties in football, but not just that. He's the most underrated safety in football. Easily a top 10 safety in football. He can do it all. He's a leader. He's a hard hitter. I think he erases and covers so much ground, on the football field. He's really Seattle's only source of takeaways. I know it's a small number, but he's actually been responsible for a whopping 25% of Seattle's turnovers in the last 2 years. And that's 10 takeaways, and Seattle's only had the total of 40. And so, like I said, it's not a lot, but just the fact that he's alone, kind of
25% of that turnover differential goes to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might have set the numbers wrong, but I think 25% is the percentage. And so there's a lot to work with, you know what I mean? Jordan Brooks, and I know it's kind of inflated because of the snap count. Seattle did lead the league in terms of time of possession spent on the defensive side of the ball, but 183 tackles is nothing to slouch at. I would like to see him improve in coverage, but there's a lot of building blocks. Darrell Taylor, Jordan Brooks, best safety duo in football. You got building blocks at cornerback. Trey Brown, I haven't even touched on, who my goodness, bro. I know you saw those games last year. They didn't play in a lot of games, but against Pittsburgh, What were some other matchups that I saw? But he just looked elite on tape. I mean, oh my gosh, the sample size is very minuscule, but I definitely love what I saw from him, and that's why I was kind of mad about Seattle letting DJ Reed go, but Trey Brown was kind of a DJ Reed clone, you know what I mean, in a sense, and so a lot of building blocks to work with on defense. Like I talked about, I think we can expect reasonably by the end of the year this defense to kind of finish in the middle of the pack. I think the defensive line is absolutely loaded. And, you know, I think Shelby Harris was a very underrated trade piece coming over from that Broncos and Russell Wilson trade package. Seattle re-signed Quentin Jefferson. Poona Ford's always going to be, you know, monster in the middle. Brian Monet, one of the best run stuffers in the league. Al Woods, who Seattle re-signed. I mean, there's a whole lot of depth. You know what I mean? Seattle's going to feature a lot more 3-4 looks this year. And so a lot of building blocks. I wouldn't be surprised if this defense in the next couple of years edges or creeps closer to the top 10 category.
Wow, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. And I know we're going to get into one player to look out from both the offense and defense, but yeah, man, I totally agree with you when you say Quandre Diggs is one of the most underrated safeties. And when you look at them pure talent-wise, him and Jamal Adams, what they could put together in the future could be something special. I still think maybe I might give the edge to Micah Parsons and Jordan Poyer as the best safety duo. With just how much success that they've had. But if you're talking about on the NFC side, I mean, who can you really think about out there? I mean, Harrison Smith stands alone by himself. You got Tyrann Mathieu, who's now on the Saints. Well, Tyrann Mathieu and what's his name are going to be out there now. From who they got from the Jets. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Marcus May. Yeah, Marcus May is on the Saints now, right? Marcus May. Let me make sure I'm not fumbling over my words here. Yeah, so I mean, they're going to be pretty good, but still, I mean, if you're seeing, we don't really know if that relationship's going to develop yet. So Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu, but if you're talking about guys that have already been there that are starting to get their chemistry together, and I know Quandre Diggs had his injury as well, so hopefully he's going to be healing from that and comes back healthy this year. But yeah, they are a pretty good safety duo. I just want Jamal Adams to be the guy that he was on the Jets for us, man. Where he's all over the field. Just let that dude go. Just be like, whatever coverage it is on the playbook, just you flip a coin and do what the hell you want to. That's kind of how they need to treat him moving forward, man. But yeah,
he got to be a chess piece.
Yeah, you got to be a chess piece. And now I would wonder what it would be like for like a 5-2-3 defense where, you know, they're bringing a safety down and helping that linebacker. Now that Bobby Wagner's going, I mean, if you want a short tackler, you got that in Jamal Adams now. Maybe that might be asking a little bit too much out of him. But at this point in time, it's like you're going to need to fill that void. And that void is going to hurt a little bit this year. I mean, it is. I still have him as a top 5 linebacker in my book. But, Bobby Wagner's, he was awesome, man. He was awesome. I still got to get a Bobby Wagner jersey when he was with Seattle. So
I just got one.
Hey, the memory's got to live on.
That's what I'm saying. I just, for me, but it's unfortunate because I didn't get it when he was with the Hawks, and so it's crazy how fast I was, to get it after he leaves. But nevertheless, I mean, hey,
my favorite player is John Lynch, man. And I had a jersey when he was with the Broncos, and then when he left the Broncos, or when he was with the Buccaneers, and then when he left the Buccaneers and went to the Broncos, I never picked up a jersey until a couple months ago. So I now do have the orange Broncos jersey with his name on the back now. So the legend lives on. And I also got a jersey of him with the new font and everything too. So it's like I'm sharing some of the love there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get me a Bobby Wagner jersey.